Good. So guys, barbell hip thrust. Now, the only issue with barbell hip thrust is when you're doing this in your own gym, there's going to be kind of differences with equipment and stuff, so we'll go over that. Like I'm just going to use a little mat here for my hips, whereas you might have a hip thrust pad. Some gyms may not, so we'll go over like obviously how to work around that and how to make sure you're not hurting your hips when the barbell's on there, okay? So I'll have this pad just sitting on here. I'm using a bench because most of the time you'll have a bench in the gym, but sometimes you might have a smaller pad, which is just this height, which means that when you're on the floor and rolling the bar on, you're getting up into there on it's a lot easier to get up and onto the bench, okay? So if I have obviously the hip thrust pad or a cushion or any sort of mat, I'll put that on top of my hips, okay? When obviously we've got the bar here, I'll put plates on quickly. So guys, barbell hip thrust, okay? There's going to be different, obviously, equipment you're going to have from gym to gym. You might have a hip thrust pad, which obviously is going to be a wee bit lower down in the bench. Like getting onto the bench and rolling the bar on is quite difficult. And then you might have obviously a hip thrust pad, you might not. You might just need to obviously use a mat and stuff, but it's going to differ depending on obviously what gym you're at. I'm just going to go through how you can maximise using the equipment that you have to make sure that we get into such a good position so we can obviously do the hip thrust, yeah? So I'm going to have this pad on here to protect the hips, and what I'll do is, what this means is when the plates are on the bar should be able to roll over nice and easy, okay? You might need to give it a little lift, depending how big the plates are, but you should have big Olympic plates in the gym that you're at. Obviously this is very lightweight, but it's just to show you how to get up and onto that position, okay? When we're on the bench, we want just underneath the shoulder blades and arms off. No arms on the bench, not holding on to the bench. We want to hold on to the bar so we've got full control of this barbell. The feet position, we want a nice vertical shin when we're at that position of full extension of the hips. So when we come up to the top here, my shin is straight up and down from the knee to the ankle. It's not too far out. Further out, more hamstrings. The closer we get, more quads. So we want to be in that middle position. Hands either side of the bar. We're going to come down so we get a full stretch on those glutes. Up, squeeze, hold for a second, head facing forward, and then back down to the floor again, okay? So we want to make sure that the head is forward and we've got a neutral spine. We don't want to posteriorly tilt the pelvis too much. We just want that nice neutral position so that we're squeezing the glutes. We're not putting the load onto the lower back, but we don't want to go too high, head tilting back, so we're getting too much extension of the lower back. So we're here, up, nice and neutral, squeeze, 2, 1, back down. And again, up, nice and neutral, 2, 1, back down, squeeze. Now I'm getting a ton of work here into the glutes and hamstrings, and it's just a nice, easy position. Making sure the shoulder blades are right on the bench so you've got that stable position. And again, loading it up to obviously how the program says and how comfortable this is for you. And then obviously when you're done, you can just roll the bar off and then obviously set up and put on new plates. So that is a hip thrust. That is just a small guide of how to do that. Again, we'll be going through like form cues and that when you send in your videos. And if I need to alter anything, then we'll do so. Alrighty.